Hey everyone, welcome to the top 10 list. Welcome to my top 10 favorite Mafia movies, TV shows, video games. Yes, I'm putting them all together. Movies, television shows, and video games. Anything got to do with the Mafia. Yes, I love the world of like that kind of organized crime, the Mafia and stuff. Anything about Mafia related stuff is interesting to me. I mostly blame that on my dad because he always found that kind of stuff interesting. So like I grew up with like classic mob movies and shows and stuff. I always used to watch and everything. So love a lot of things got to do with Mafia. So I thought I'd talk about my favorite Mafia movies, shows, video games, and just put it all into one big Mafia top 10 list. So here we go. Favorite Mafia movies slash TV shows slash video games. As always, for a top 10 list, you gotta have your honorable mentions. There's a lot. There's a lot of Mafia stuff, so I had to include a lot. Donnie Brasco, Casino, Miller's Crossing, The Gentleman, Black Mass, Gangs of New York, Road to Perdition, Mafia 2, Mafia 3, Grand Theft Auto 5, because people like it and stuff. Peaky Blinders, Boardwalk Empire, and that's it. Just give me the top 10 list, but definitely my top 10 is my number 10. My number 10 is one of the most underrated mob movies of all time, American Gangster, directed by Ridley Scott, starring Denzel Washington and Russell Crowe. It's also got a great supporting cast like Chiwetel Ejiofor, RZA, John Hawkes, Josh Brolin, like a lot of great cast members. It's a terrific, epic 3-hour crime story. It is basically about Frank Lucas, the first African American crime boss, and it is awesome. And how he smuggles, what's he smuggle? Is it heroin? I think it's heroin into the United States and starts selling it. And the way he does it, the way he stays very low key, and the way he only hires family members to work for him because that's all he trusts is family members. It's really interesting. The story about Frank Lucas is really great, and the story about Richie, played by Russell Crowe, and him trying to find out who's doing all the smuggling and who is this crime boss. And when he finds out it's Frank Lucas, it turns into this war between the crime bosses and the police officers, and even the crooked police officers. It's a great 3-hour epic. I absolutely love this movie. It's a really well-written film. The dialogue in this movie is fantastic. The characters are great. Just Richie and Frank Lucas are two amazing characters, and how they work off each other is fantastic. The ending is super good. If you ever want to watch this movie, though, definitely watch the director's cut. It explains a lot more. It adds more to the ending and adds much more layers to the plot, and just such a great film. American Gangster, definitely check it out. Number 9 is one of my favorite comedies ever, and that's Analyze This. Robert De Niro, Billy Crystal, love them both, and it's basically about a mobster who's having panic attacks. He thinks he's having heart attacks, but then he finds out he has anxiety, so he has to go see a shrink. And he's embarrassed that he's seeing a shrink, so he has to keep it very low key. And basically, this shrink is played by Billy Crystal, and he's basically has to basically endure a lot of mob related things and stuff, and he has to get entangled with a lot of these like mob stuff and everything, and like Paul Vitti is De Niro's character. He's like at war with another mobster, and Billy Crystal's getting in the middle of this because they think Billy Crystal's a mobster with him, but really he's just a doctor. It's a really, really funny film. A lot of great jokes. It's very crude and raunchy, and I absolutely love everything about it. De Niro and Billy Crystal work off each other so great, and just absolutely love it. I even enjoy Analyze That. I think it's a pretty underrated sequel, but Analyze This, super funny film. Number 8 is The Irishman. I still think this movie's amazing. Scorsese, I think just the way he does crime stories and crime films is just epic. I loved this movie. I've only seen it twice, and I've loved it both times. I love De Niro, Joe Pesci, and Al Pacino's performance. Knowing this, I knew nothing about this story, and it was really interesting seeing how it all unfolds and seeing these interesting characters. The dialogue, the cinematography, the makeup, even the visual effects are really solid in this film, and this is just epic Scorsese, so I loved The Irishman. Number 7 is the Yakuza games. I went with all of them. I am starting to play them. I haven't played all of them yet, but I played the original Yakuza, and I played Yakuza 0, and I am played little bits of Like a Dragon because my cousin has it and stuff. So I've been diving more into the Yakuza games, so I absolutely love them. I don't want to talk too much about them because I'm going to rank all the Yakuza games, so just going to say that. Love these games. It's about the Japanese mob, the Yakuza. Super funny, super creative, super stylistic. I love the lead characters in a lot of these games. Zero is an absolutely amazing game. Definitely check them out if you love the crime video games, like especially like if you love GTA and stuff. Yakuza, I love those games. Number 6 is The Departed. Yes, Scorsese again. This is a lot about cops, but it's still about the mafia too, because Jack Nicholson is the leader of this crime squad. What's his name? Costello. I love Jack Nicholson in this movie with Ray Winstone. I love that it's about Leonardo DiCaprio going undercover. He's a police officer and he has to go undercover with this crime boss and everything, and get dirt on him and eventually try to arrest him and everything. It's a really interesting story. It's about like who to trust and who not to trust and stuff. And fantastic story, fantastic characters. I love Costigan, Costello, Digman, Mark Wahlberg's character is one of my favorite characters. Big, huge cast in this film. Matt Damon, Leonardo DiCaprio, Mark Wahlberg, Anthony Anderson, Ray Winstone, Jack Nicholson, Vera Farmiga, Martin Sheen, Alec Baldwin. The cast is huge. It's such a great epic film. 100% deserved that Best Picture win. What an amazing film. Number 5 is Mafia. Mafia, the very first Mafia game, is amazing. This is such a great story, such an epic tale. I love the main character, Tommy, and I love even his friends, Sam, and I forget the other guy's name, but the friendship these three have is fantastic. The ending is just such a, wow, what a heartbreaking ending. Love it, won't spoil it. Such a great game. This is, I enjoyed Mafia 2, Mafia 3, but Mafia 1 is such a gritty and realistic take on what it's like to be in the Mafia, especially in like the 1940s and stuff. And I love how they tell the story, how they go into like past tense of the story. It's so great. I loved everything about this game. I just played it pretty recently. I played all 3 of the Mafia games literally within like a month. It's such a great franchise, but the first Mafia game, it's like a masterpiece. I loved it so much. Number 4 is The Sopranos. Sopranos is one of my favorite television shows of all time. It's the greatest mob television show ever. I'm rewatching it right now. I'm on season 3. I've watched this show like 3 times throughout my life. Love it. I love these characters. The story of Tony Soprano. I love his crew like Paulie Walnuts, Big Pussy, and Silvio. I love his kids. And I love his wife. His wife is a great character. Such a kick-ass wife. I even like his shrink character. I love the demons she goes through and some of the tragic things she goes through as well. The character Junior has a couple cool stories. Even his nephew Christopher goes through a lot of interesting stuff throughout the story. It's a great, amazing take about like modern times and modern mafia. It's an amazing show. It's one of the greatest shows of all time. Number 3 is Eastern Promises. Another very underrated film. It's my favorite David Cronenberg film, and it's about the Russian mafia. I love different like varieties of mafia, like the Yakuzas, the Japanese mob, and more. Everyone knows like the Italian mafia mostly, but the Russian mob is a big thing too, and Eastern Promises tackles this kind of story about the Russian mafia, and Viggo Mortensen, who's like a driver for the Russian mob, and there's like a twist with him, which I won't spoil, and it's about this like nurse and this baby, and this young girl died, and they're trying to prove that this baby is the baby's father is one of the head guys of the Russian mob, and they're trying to pin him on it so they can maybe imprison him and everything. And there's a lot of other things I don't want to go into because it'll spoil too much, but a really great, interesting, dramatic story about the Russian mafia, and Viggo Mortensen is incredible in the film. Number 2, it's Godfather 1 and 2. Obviously, it's Godfather 1 and 2. Both perfect films in every way, shape, or form. The characters, the lines, the direction by Francis Ford Coppola is absolutely fantastic. I have nothing negative to say about the 2 Godfather films, other than Sonny is my favorite character. Number 1 is Goodfellas. Goodfellas, everyone knows, it's my favorite mob film of all time. It's my favorite Scorsese film. I love the story of Goodfellas. I love the story about this guy Henry and how he dreamed about being a part of the mafia and everything, and his life in the mob and everything, and he's friends with his pals, Tommy and Jimmy, played by Joe Pesci and Robert De Niro. Ray Liotta's in the main character, both fantastic. All 3 of them are fantastic in this movie. It's just the way it goes into the realism of the mafia and the drugs and the arms dealing they all went through and everything. Fantastic story. I absolutely love it. And when it comes to Mafia films, this is always my go-to, so it's my personal favorites, yeah. Those are my top 10 favorite Mafia movies / TV shows / video games. So in the comment section below, please tell me, did you agree with this top 10 list? If not, give me guys top 10 favorite Mafia movies / TV shows / video games in your guys' opinion. Comment below, let me know. And as always, if you like this video, please subscribe to the channel and join the dark side.